Hello everyone, FPL Willem here. Today I wanted to show you guys what my updated draft would look like. Let's get into it. So the new season is just around the corner and I won't be able to upload a new video as I will be on a vacation, a small vacation, not for long but too long to upload another video before next Saturday. So that means this will be the last video you guys will see of me pre-season, but I will keep you guys up to date of my squad on Twitter or X if you guys follow me on FPL Willem. To start off, in the goalkeeper department, I've gone with Alisson Becker. The reasoning behind him is basically because of the fixtures and he's a solid goalkeeper. I know he's a 5.5 goalkeeper, don't get up my back for that, but I couldn't find any 4.5 goalies I was happy with. Henderson was one of them. I had my doubts about him. But with the games Alisson Becker has against Ipswich, Brentford, Forest, Bournemouth and Wolves in the first 7 games, I couldn't miss out on him. I felt like Raya was also an option, but I've got my defense for another Arsenal defender. On the bench I've chosen with Valdemarsson. It's the second goalkeeper from Brentford and it's Iceland's main goalkeeper, and I feel like there's a potential he will take the Flekkens, the first keeper of Brentford's spot, as Flekken didn't have that great of a season and the first games are kind of tough, so maybe he will crack under that pressure and Valdemarsson has a chance to play. But I don't expect a lot from Valdemarsson and I just will play Becker most of the times. Moving up to the defense, I've doubled up on the Liverpool defense with Trent, so Becker and Trent in my team in the defense as well. I feel like it's a miss out to not have a double defense from Liverpool as they have a solid amount of fixtures. Once again against Ipswich, Brentford, Forest, Bournemouth and Wolves. I feel like there are a few clean sheets to get there and I feel like Trent has a lot of attacking threat. Taking the corners, taking the free kicks, having a good cross into the box. Lots of potential to score some big points. Next up is Saliba. I wanted to look back on last season, how Arsenal was such a great defense. Even against the big sides like Man City away, they kept a clean sheet. And it feels like Arsenal will be even stronger with Timber and Calafiori in the defense. And they are going to even get more clean sheets. Usually I'm the kind of guy who takes fixtures over form, but for Arsenal defense I can't make an exception. Quick thoughts on Gabriel. I feel like he's also an option, but I am a bit spooked of the same happening as last year where Gabriel was left out. Now quickly moving on to Van de Ven, I don't want to talk about it a lot, so quickly. Cheap Spurs option, defenders like Pedro Porro or Romero also good option, just a bit more expensive. So I didn't want to put too much money in there. Spurs also have a great first 2 fixtures against Leicester and Everton. Might have some attacking threat, but don't expect much from him, just hoping for a clean sheet. Konsa, up next on the bench. Aston Villa defender who I already had in my team for my first draft, so once again I'll try to keep it short. Solid fixtures against West Ham, Leicester, Everton, Wolves and Ipswich in the first few game weeks. Not the best pre-season and possible rotation for game week 5 for Champions League. Yeah, once again pre-season doesn't really say anything, but I hope Konsa will get some clean sheets from some of them games. Up next is Robinson. It's a name that gets popped up more recently. I had him in my team before and it always sucks when his name gets popped up, so I can't be creative anymore with him. But he's a Fulham defender with great fixtures. Fulham impressed in pre-season. That's a bit of a double standard because I just said that Konsa pre-season doesn't really say anything, but I rather have a good pre-season and a bad pre-season. With games against Leicester and Ipswich in game week 2 and 3, I think it's a good pick. I don't really expect that many goals or assists from him as he had no goals last season and 6 assists. 6 assists isn't that bad, but could be better. Moving up to the midfielders, I've gone with Eze. Basically the talisman of Palace. It feels like everyone has him in his team, as exactly a third of the player base has him. He's the penalty taker, or the new penalty taker of Crystal Palace. He has good games against Brentford, West Ham and Leicester, and I feel like even against Chelsea he will be a big threat. Moving up to Smith Rowe, a Fulham midfielder who just transferred from Arsenal. He immediately had impact in his first 2 pre-season games as he took over the position from Andreas. Andreas would still also be a good pick, as he is on penalties, But there's just a quick reminder that Andreas is now playing a bit deeper because of Smith Rowe. So if you want to take a gamble on penalties for Fulham, then it's a shot going for Andreas, as they have some solid games. But Smith Rowe had a great impact for me on preseason, and I feel like he will be an attacking threat behind the striker. Moving up to Diogo Jota. Reasoning behind this guy is because I couldn't afford Salah in my team. Jota has a good impression for me, and it could be an amazing attacking threat for only 7.5 mil. Don't forget that once again the run of fixtures is also great. As I just want to remind you once more, it's Ipswich, Brentford, Forest, Bournemouth and Wolves. And I feel like there could be a lot of attacking threats. I am a bit scared of his minutes, but to just show you a few stats, the expected goals last season was per 90 minutes 0.78. So that's close to 1 expected goal per 90 minutes per game. Assists was 0.23 per 90 minutes, and in total he had 10 goals and 3 assists in 21 games last season. And I just wanted to assure you guys, he didn't start all 21 games last season. As I've seen him in playing as a striker in the first preseason, I don't know if Gakpo is going to play there, but there is potential he will play striker. And as a midfielder in the game, that feels like a cheat card. Moving up, Morgan Gibbs-White. I had him in my last team. I was struggling between Wood and Gibbs-White as I didn't want them both. Forest has a great few first fixtures with games against Bournemouth, Southampton, Wolves and Brighton in their first 5 games. Gibbs-White is also the penalty takers, and Wood can also be replaced by Awoniyi. I hope I pronounced that right. I feel like I had to take at least one Nottingham Forest player with that kind of fixtures, because I won't pick any of them any other time in the season. So Gibbs-White it is for me. It's a 6.5 midfielder. Up next is Nkunku. And I don't know about Nkunku. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have a horrible gut feeling with Nkunku, but I can't be missing out on a Chelsea player with the fixtures against Wolves, Palace, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Forest in the first 7 game weeks. Only the first game week against Manchester City is terrible, but after that it's alright. Nkunku did well pre-season and scored some goals. Some of them were penalties, but those will be taken by Palmer in the future. As a pessimistic Chelsea fan myself, I have doubts over every single player and I have zero trust in clean sheets. So please don't take a defender from Chelsea, as it's at least I don't know who is going to play. And if they are going to play, I don't expect a lot of clean sheets. Nkunku, I hope he plays in striker position just to get some kind of cheat card like Diogo Jota once again. Last but not least, the attackers. To start, I've put in Solanke. Solanke just had a transfer to Spurs. And with the first few starting games against, once again, same as Van de Ven, Leicester and Everton, there's a lot of potential for goals in him. I'm still curious if he's going to play, as I'm 80% sure he will start. And even then, I am curious if he's going to play the full 90 minutes. With games against Leicester and Everton, there's a lot of potential for goals once again. Solanke might even take penalties when Son isn't playing, but I don't really expect that. I feel like this is my biggest gamble, but it's not even that big of a risk. Up next is Haaland. Is there anything to say about him that hasn't been said by everyone? Like really? Had a lesser season than the season before, but I still expect a lot of goals from him, even the occasional assists. And with an assist counting as well as shooting on goal and someone else scores it with a redirection, I feel like there's a lot of potential there. Up next is Isak. He's my last pick in this team. The reason I put him in is because I wanted to get a Newcastle player. And with those run of games they have, I feel like there's a lot of potential for goals. First game against Southampton, even a captain shout. I don't have a lot of trust in the defense. So I've seen everyone putting Burn in their team, and I just don't know if it's even if he's gonna play. And second, I don't have a lot of trust in them keeping a clean sheet. But as I am talking about Isak and not the defense, I do expect a lot of goals from him, and even against the big sides, I expect the occasional goal from him. I also did some kind of captaining choice. I feel like Isak has a bigger potential against Southampton at home than Haaland has against Chelsea away. Reasoning behind it is I feel like there's a guarantee 1 goal for Isak, and Haaland often kinda doesn't really perform against a bigger team, especially away. So I might be wrong, and I hope I won't be wrong, because it is against Chelsea. But I expect Isak to get at least the same amount of points as Haaland. But this isn't set in stone, so I could switch it up. Now I wanted to show you guys the potential transfers I am thinking about. I don't want to ramble a lot about the potential transfers, but here is what I'm still thinking about. Trent to Virgil to make up $1 million free, and that $1 million I will spend on Jota to Bruno. Now the positives here is a Liverpool defender with great aerial threat, with of course Virgil, and Bruno Fernandes is the playmaker for United and is also on penalties. I like to have as many players from different teams so that I can follow every game with a reason, and it makes it a lot more fun. Now a bit of a negative is that I will miss an immense threat from Trent, as he is on free kicks and corners once again. Don't forget about his long shots as well. Jota might be playing a way more attacking role as a midfielder than Bruno, so that could be a change as well, because as I said before, Jota could be an attacker or a striker. And fixture based, Jota is a better pick. And I am, as I said, more of a fixture type of guy than a form type of guy. But I am on the fence with making these transfers, and it could go both ways. So showing you guys my game weeks, I want to show you guys what it would look like in the first 5 game weeks without any transfers, so you could spare up 4 transfers at game week 5. In this backline I expect at least 1 clean sheet, but I'm secretly hoping for more. Clean sheets weren't really up for grabs last season, so that's why I'm playing a back 3. Midfield with Gibbs White, Smith Rowe, Eze and Jota, and an attack expected with Solanke, Haaland and Isak. Up to game week 2, I will take out Saliba for Robertson, purely based on the fixtures, as Robertson has Leicester at home and Saliba has Aston Villa away. Now I know Saliba is a great player, as I said before, and fixtures doesn't really matter for him, but Robertson at home against Leicester, I feel like there's a bigger potential. I put Nkunku for Gibbs White, but I might change that later on. I don't know who will get out. There's in the midfield, I will just take a look at it once it's game week 2 and decide who I will put in my team. Maybe I have some injuries then. Moving up to game week 3. This week leaves me with a few difficult choices as Solanke plays against Isak. I am secretly hoping for an incredibly open game with Spurs against Newcastle with lots of counter-attacks. Isak and Solanke probably will shine in those games. Liverpool trio will play United away, as in preseason it looked like Liverpool had the upper hand on them, so attacking threat is still gonna be there. Don't expect a clean sheet, but Alexander-Arnold and Diego Jota have great attacking threats. Might even get the cheeky assist from Alisson. Don't expect it though. I could also switch Robertson with Konsa, but I will rate that on the first 2 game weeks. On the 4th game weeks, I have a lot of great home games for this team with only Nkunku and Isak playing away. Solanke against a great defense like Arsenal isn't great, but I feel like there's still some potential. So last but not least, in this game week I have taken out Haaland. This because of the reason that I feel like he blanks in games like these. Often following De Bruyne step up here. As you saw last season, Haaland against Arsenal, he was nowhere. Even in the last Community Shield against Manchester United, I feel like he just disappears in big games. But it might bite me. If you look closely at Saliba, you will see the next run of games against Leicester and Southampton and Bournemouth. So there is a big chance of me adding more Arsenal players, and I think it's not even the worst to go for a wild card. So to end this video off, I would like to quickly ask you guys if you could subscribe to my channel and leave a like. It isn't that much work, but it means a lot to me. If you want to see more posts from me, follow me on Twitter with FBL Willem. I would like to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys will have a good season. Have a good one. Bye bye.